Hello and welcome back to X-Rated Talk Productions. I've got some more Five Nights at Freddy's stuff for you here. On today's episode, we are going to do a review and sort of summary of Five Nights at Freddy's, The Fourth Closet, which is the third book in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Confusing. Anyway, previously on the Five Nights at Freddy's book series, Charlie died, was twisted up in some animatronic. Springtrap got hurt after he came back to life. And some random new Charlie chick shows up who looks just enough like Charlie. Is it Charlie? Let's find out. Well, short answer is no. It was a specialized robot animatronic thing that uses those little discs technology I've mentioned a few times in these reviews to make it appear like she's human enough. And plot-wise, it's revealed that Charlie herself is in fact a robot, and this new one is just was the planned next phase of her. It seems like what was revealed in this was that Charlie and Sammy, her twin brother. Now, Charlie believed that Sammy got taken by the Springtrap. Well, it turns out that Charlie was the one who got taken by Springtrap, and Charlie's dad, Henry, and his grief built a whole bunch of another Charlie to replace his daughter, and kept doing it so basically she would keep having these life cycles. You know, teenager, adult, young, toddler. And now, Springtrap, who's all kinds of fucked up after the last encounter in the underground pizzeria, I don't even know how the hell that works. He's been kidnapping a bunch of kids, and basically attempting to harvest their organs to keep him alive, while he puts his organs inside this robot, so we can try and slowly transfer his soul or his essence into a new robot to continue living on forever. Confusing ass stuff. And for the most part here, I'm not going to talk about the games, because trying to connect that to this, there are connections, but goddamn, it involves a lot of ignoring some details to make other details work. Anyway, so this book kind of changes main characters for a bit. Almost the entirety of the last two books was being narrated, was following Charlie as the main character, whereas this one opens up with John as a good chunk of Jessica and I feel like more Carlton than ever before. Yeah, so other than that, the kids getting kidnapped, a new animatronic-based restaurant has opened, Circus Babies. Which, if you know the games, you know what that place is. Yeah, so John, it's been some time since Charlie died and/or came back, and the chick who came back, he's not believing. There's something up about her. He's not believing she's really her. I think she looks a little too perfect, a little too adult, and not quite her. And we're not quite sure ourselves for a good chunk of this book, or if maybe he just can't accept it, or what. But one thing leads to another. The robot gets found out that it's a robot, and it goes after the Chief Burke, Charlie, Aunt Jen, and some other folks, and eventually Circus Baby, that's what I'm going to call her to keep things simple, confronts Charlie and is like, hey, even though neither of us are the real thing, especially not you. Meanwhile, William Afton has got these, like I told you earlier, he's got these kids trying to get organs, trying to get sold into the fucking robots, whatever, and he's doing that. Review-wise, I mean, that was kind of the plot summary. More or less, Charlie dies using the stabby robot that killed her dad and killing the circus baby. And we kind of move on. The book ends on something of a questionable thing, where it describes John walking over to and leaving this graveyard with this woman. And we don't really get a description of who she is. Like, is this another Charlie robot? Is this in his head? Is this some new girlfriend? I don't know. Yeah, sorry, let's get back to review portion. I think this book actually gave me a nightmare one night, about halfway through the book. It was rain. It took me a couple days. This thing's kind of nuts around here, as usual. But you know that. Yeah. So this is probably the most gruesome of the three books. It definitely, compared to, and I recently read the Silver Eyes comic book and realized, I went back and kind of realized, that really wasn't much of much. The second book had a good chunk of gore with the cage-like animatronics that trap people, and Charlie dies a pretty gruesome death. But this one's got some fucking torture scenes that are a little rough. It's actually weird that Scholastic, of all people, helped bring this out, because this is closest to like a traditional horror novel that I could have imagined. It's less, unlike the first book, and this is more like the second one. Like the first book was still the kind of the ghost robots, whereas this one is still kind of following the footsteps of the second book. And the sister location game stuff, where it's more smart AI-ish. Not ghost robots possessing people. That much. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but yeah, it's pretty gory in some spots, especially the scene of after getting cut open by Circus Baby, and Charlie's just gotta sit there and watch. Wait, that's not right. Jessica's got to sit there and watch. And then Carlton getting the injection. Fairly unsettling. Yeah, overall, this is the final one in the trilogy. I found it pretty entertaining. It's spookier than I would have anticipated. Cool descriptions of robots. I'm really hoping the movie eventually sort of takes this direction, or at least inspiration from it. Because that was the original point of the novel, was to kind of give us, like, the games are really cryptic and don't really add too much story, especially in the beginning of this series, of the game series. They didn't really give us too many direct answers to things. It was kind of just guessing based on what this little piece of code or something said. So it was really nice with this trilogy of books to kind of get a more controlled and explained world. I started working on. I started a couple pages into the first Fazbear Frights book recently, or yesterday. What day it is? Yeah, yesterday, and it's pretty good. I hear they're more. It's instead of like just being one big, semi-big, decent-sized novel, it's like three sort of goosebumps size stories coming together. So I'm curious to see how that kind of wraps in. According to game theory, some of the stories may take place in this book, some may take place in some of the games. And there you go. It's pretty neat. Getting some different lore and how maybe even some of this takes place in the movie universe, or whatever it's going to happen there. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.